Hi, my name's Jennifer Land, and my campaign that I've been working on is the Betty and Leonard Phillips Deaf Action Center located here in Shreveport. My proposal for the campaign, this is the cover page. The Deaf Action Center is a nonprofit agency, and they offer American Sign Language interpretation for the hearing impaired and the deaf here in Shreveport and Bossier City. My second page of the proposal includes the table of contents. I've got page numbers showing the campaign, proposal, and the planning, implementation, and all of the different segments. This is the proposal itself, which discusses how I talked to the marketing director of the Deaf Action Center. Her name was Miss Raydra Hall. And the main objective that I got from her was that we need to build awareness, and we can utilize social media and the local news entities here. So we also are going to focus on the Vegas Night fundraising event to be held in December. Page 4 is my justification, the need for funding and training of more sign language interpreters. Since they don't have the capabilities with the local law enforcement to have everyone trained in American Sign Language, and it's difficult if they have to arrest someone or if there's someone who needs medical attention, to have someone on hand at all times to interpret for those individuals. They need to go through a service like the agency at the Deaf Action Center, so that they have interpreters who can utilize their services, and they can be on call for when that is the need is available. Also, according to law enforcement today, there are over 20 million people in the United States who have some form of hearing impairment, so it's necessary to have these type of services, just as we would need a different language interpreter for someone who speaks Spanish. They need someone to interpret. They need someone also to be available to interpret with sign language. They can communicate via notes, but in the case of individuals who are handcuffed or are having to be restrained, or they also need sign language interpreters. And the agency needs more people to be trained in American Sign Language, and they offer classes for that. The resources that have been available to me, and some that I don't have but that could be used for this campaign, are the employee contact with Ms. Raydra Hall. That was very beneficial to me. A client list or a donor list of the clients that utilize their services and the donors who donate, volunteers as well. Email list and contact information. Media contacts, if they know anyone who is available to help us with getting the word out to increase the marketing. And then also access to the foundation's website and their Facebook page in order to upload images and the post. And then, of course, any statistical information they were able to provide from the organization itself. My planning portion includes the audience analysis, and that was a big part of determining the age group of their donors. Ms. Hall gave me the information. It's between the ages of 35 and 55, so we would be dealing with Generation X, who was born between 1965 and 1979, and also baby boomers. And the baby boomers are the primary donors. They were born between 1946 and 1964. They donate the most. They also donate online, and as well as through traditional means by mailing in information, mailing in donations, sorry. The research took up the most part of it. I have 3 pages of research, which focuses on the target audience. I also spoke with people from the emergency medical technicians, the police, sign language interpreters, and the hearing impaired, also people who would need the services, because the agency also provides not only emergency sign language interpretation, they provide services and interpreters for church services, funeral services, doctor's appointments, just the daily needs for the hearing impaired. So those interpreters are vital for the hearing impaired in Shreveport and Bossier, and they don't have the funding from grants to provide payment for those interpreters, so it's important that we have more interpreters to be available for those individuals. As part of the research, though, we discussed why I was choosing the different types of media. I chose Facebook, Twitter, and as a backup, the local newspapers, the Shreveport Times and the Bossier Press Tribune. Facebook is utilized by the age groups from my target audience mostly, and that was a primary reason for using Facebook, because it will also help with how they share. If they like a post that is shared about the Deaf Action Center, then their friends, people who are already like-minded, will see that post as well. So we're reaching more people who are like-minded and may possibly donate. So we're reaching more people to donate to the Deaf Action Center, in addition to the people who have already currently liked their page. So the Facebook was a good choice for that. Also, they already have a Facebook page, and that can be reached. And then Twitter as well, because that is something that we can use to see. It's increased with nonprofits donations because the hashtags have been really popular. One of the hashtags that was used was water is life. They capitalized on the hashtag for hashtag first world problems, where people will complain about something that they call a first world problem. And one of the examples that they used on Twitter was the hashtag first world problems, and they showed a picture of a gentleman in front of his house, which was just a crumbling home with walls falling down, and the line beneath him was talking about how someone was complaining about how their home was so big that they had to use 2 routers for their Wi-Fi. So it brought the attention to the issue, makes the people stop complaining about their first world problems and realize they need to take action and donate to this agency that was helping with get clean water to people who don't live in the first world. So Twitter was a good resource or good source for reaching out to nonprofit agents or people who will donate to nonprofits. That was a good one. And there was also another one that was they wanted to get immunizations, and they said, oh, if you like this on Facebook, we won't donate. We will vaccinate 0 children for polio, which makes you realize if you like it, you're actually not doing anything, but you need to donate. You need to take action. So I felt like Twitter was important to use, as well as the local economy here with the newspapers. They're important because the demographics here, people still use newspapers for their primary news source. They go to it because it's trusted journalists who they know in the community with the Shreveport Times and the Bossier Press Tribune. That's why I chose them, because they get their news from there. We also have a timeline, and in mine I also included, so we had a research phase, the implementation phase, how long it was going to take to do the campaign, October, November, and December. October would be when I would start my press releases being sent out, as well as posts on Facebook and Twitter. And then the actual fundraising event of Vegas Night would be held in December. And then, of course, an evaluation phase is follow-up. So I included calendars to show what dates I would have press releases going out and when the event would happen. And then discussed again some of the strategies and the channels of communication with the Facebook, Twitter, and the newspapers. Also, here are some of the examples of Facebook posts. How Talk to the Hand was something that I wanted to use. Here's something discussing the Vegas Night, where they needed donations for a silent auction. Then here's another one talking about what they need for the upcoming Vegas Night. Here's a Twitter. It's a tweet with less than 140 characters. Talk to the Hands. The Deaf Action Center needs your donations for the silent auction, and then has a phone number. So that's one of the tweet examples. I also have a press release for immediate release to go out discussing what's going to happen for the Vegas Night fundraiser. There's an invitation for the local media so that they'll get more coverage for the event, and another tweet. Here's my evaluation. and this is a survey response form, and then I have my sources cited. So there's all the information that I have, and that is my campaign proposal and final project. So I look forward to hearing you, getting your feedback. Thanks a lot. Bye.